I am tearing up.
I just about screamed right now, and I'm not even there.
Now that's inspirational, Natalie. I feel inspired today.
I could be here for another hour.
And then I was talking to my class. There were only 2 of us, and the other guy was in the hospital. So here I am.
And I always go, he winds up homeless on the street. It's my fault.
Yeah, now you sound like my wife.
And you can get off.
I don't know. Call it Google. Or call it Google.
Yeah. Control. Alexa, how did you get across?
Paul, I cut you off earlier. What were you going to say?
What?
Dang it! Don't do that to me, Paul. Don't do that to me, man.
I don't know what got into my head, but I thought this thought, if I'm working year round, I might as well get paid year round.
Sweet Talk is a weekly 20-minute podcast brought to you by the Continuing Education and Workforce Training Division of Idaho State University's College of Technology. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud, and subscribe today. Now, it's time to get started with Sweet Talk.
Welcome, everyone. It's Paul Dickey, and we're about to start our Sweet Talk episode, the podcast for ISU Continuing Education and Workforce Training. And I can now say, as always, Gary Salazar, my co-host, is joining me. Gary, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for bringing me back on. I appreciate it. It's looking like a good start to the day. It's sunny outside, and we have some special guests with us today.
Oh, very special guest with us today.
Yeah, on this particular part of the podcast, which is a bit of a different turn for us from the usual amount, we're going to have a little introduction on the side. We're going to introduce a special guest, and we're going to have a nice conversation. As part of that, we have Michael Plowman with us and Darren Jernigan. Michael Plowman is our Director of Development for the College of Technology, and our Interim Associate Dean is Darren Jernigan. Michael and Darren, welcome to both of you. Glad to have you on board. Yeah, great.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Michael, we have a special guest here, Mr. Bart Mcdonald. Would you do us the honors and say something about him and introduce him to the audience?
Sure. Yeah. So Bart Mcdonald is the president and owner of Superior Physical Therapy. He began his career as a physical therapist at an outpatient clinic in Montana, later for Bannock Regional Medical Center. Then he started Aspen Physical Therapy and later decided to open his own clinic, Superior Physical Therapy, and I believe they have 5 locations now in the area. He got his master's degree in physical therapy from Emory University School of Medicine. He specializes in knee, shoulder, and spine rehab. He grew up in Nampa, Idaho, and is married with 3 children. And just recently, Gary, Bart and Superior Physical Therapy, their management team, was generous to the College of Technology and did a $5,000 scholarship to help support our students in the physical therapy assistant program.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Thank you very much. And
Yes,
wonderful
thank you.
news. Thank you, Michael, for saying that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And as part of that donation as well, or that contribution, in addition to our general scholarship, they will be highlighted as part of Bengal Giving Day, which is taking the place of the old I Love ISU campaign, scholarship campaign. Bengal Giving Day will run April 12th and 13th. It'll run for 1,901 minutes. That's when Idaho State University was founded, was in 1901. So about 32 hours of online social media will be promoting and raising awareness of all of the things going on in the College of Technology and at the university, and then also trying to engage folks in the process of philanthropy. Whether it's $5, $500, $5,000 as Superior Physical Therapy did, we want to get some serious engagement going on during that campaign. So they will be highlighted as a matching donation. Superior Physical Therapy will as part of that campaign.
Awesome. Thank you, Bart. Thank you for taking the lead on that. That is an incredible thing to do for our students.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. And who else is with us then, Michael?
So Bart and then Darren, and I'll turn some time over now that I've explained that. Darren Jernigan, our interim associate dean of the College of Technology. Darren has a long history also with the physical therapy assistant program. He was an instructor. I believe he was our program coordinator for several years as well. And I'm going to let him and Bart kind of talk a little more about superior physical therapy, about the PTA program in general, people that Bart has employed, because over the years he's employed many people from our program. So Darren, go ahead and take it away.
Well, it's my pleasure to participate in this particular engagement. And I want to first off start by saying thank you so much, Bart, for certainly your support of the PTA program over the last 20 plus years. And, just recognizing the fact that you and I have run in the same circles, we've had the same interests, and we've collaborated a lot through the years. And it's so pleasing to me as a 20 plus year educator in the physical therapist assistant program at Idaho State to know that my students have been integrated into your business and helped you to grow throughout the years. And it's just really exciting to me. It's after a long career, it's just one of those things that it's really fulfilling, especially for me as an educator. And I just this is a great time for us to celebrate our past, and I guess celebrate some of the victories that we've had with you taking students that I know and making them into, outstanding clinicians.
I appreciate that, Darren. Over the years, I can't count the number of PTA and PT students that we've had the pleasure of being able to integrate with in that learning process out of ISU. I would say currently we have probably 10 PTAs in our organization. And I would say 9 out of 10 directly came from ISU. One of those, I have to put a shout out right now. Rigo Lemos is
Yes.
one of the most phenomenal PTAs I've ever met. And just recently helped us as a clinic director start a new clinic out in American Falls. And he's just, just is phenomenal. Both his ability to treat patients, understand people's needs and in that rehab process, and be able to just interact with and integrate with the community out there. It's been fun to watch. So, boy.
That's super cool. Well, I was looking at your website and I was just getting an idea of, who's currently on your team, because, through 20 years, there's a lot of people that come and go through the years. But I mean, Rigo, Sam Hayes, Nate Connolly, Aaron Grohl, David Southworth, and David Heiner, to name a few. And it's so fun for me to strike those people through the years and recognize that they're, in your care and, making a living and doing good work. And it just pleases me. And I also have to reflect on, a couple of years ago when I had you come in and do the special topics course for the DPT program when I was teaching that particular class, and how cool that was. And so anyhow, just a lot of water under the bridge for you and I, and fun things to celebrate.
Absolutely. This really, I got to say, as an organization, we've been so thrilled with our affiliation with ISU. I think it's easy if you grow up in the Pocatello community, maybe to take ISU for granted. What a phenomenal institution, and really the ability for us to have our children and multiple generations receive such phenomenal education right here in southeastern Idaho. For us, we could not achieve as a business, as a physical therapy practice, the growth that we have without ISU support. And I know that you were kind enough to highlight our engagement and very much our teaching opportunity that we've had to engage with the ISU students, but all of those folks that you mentioned are an integral part of what we've been able to grow in the service of our patients here in the community. And without that foundational education, we couldn't be as an organization what we are today. That it is all about the backbone of education that is paramount in the physical therapy profession, to be able to deliver what we can to our patients that come in the door every day. So anyway, when we had the opportunity and we're granted the opportunity to be able to give back in a scholarship way, that just feeds right into the platform that we've picked up on as a group in the last year. About a year ago, I started maybe a year and a half ago, I started a pet project and wrote a book called Debt Free PT. And I've been just trying to get that out into the PT and PTA world. One of the things that each of us can recognize is the cost of education has climbed. And as much as ISU really does give us one of the most cost-effective higher education opportunities, probably in the Northwest, if not in the country, the cost of education is going up. And so for the physical therapy realm, we stuck this out there in helping PTs and PTAs to recognize that you are in a phenomenal profession. You get to serve and help other people. That rehab process is so fulfilling in being able to help people from wherever they're at with their back pain, their knee pain, post-operative, whatever it might be, and help them re-achieve the goals in their life. And we kind of took it a step further and said, we got to give back also to the profession. One of the hardest things is getting out of student debt. Depending on where you've gone and the debt process, those student loans can be a little bit tough. So we put out a way just recently to try to give back in that way too, and it's been so much fun. So good.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Bart, is that book out there right now? Is that published and available?
It is. Yeah, we've got it available on a you can search it out on debtfreept.com. It's actually got a hyphen in there, debt-freept.com. And it was kind of collaborative effort as we looked at within the profession for physical therapists and physical therapy assistants. Like, we know that reimbursement through Medicare, Medicaid for our profession has gone down, and there's some struggles there, and cost of education has gone up. So what is it that we can do to help each individual practitioner take that responsibility, but have options to be able to get out of debt as soon as possible? And then that frees up both life and opportunity. So.
Right. What is the? You're obviously experiencing some really good growth here. You've got the graduates are coming out of Ohio State University. You just opened up American Falls a site, I think. What's the future for you? What's your business and PT? Where's that going?
I think it really mirrors the need and the need for physical therapy to grow within the state of Idaho. When we look at the demographics and need for physical therapists, it really does mirror the life expectancy in America and where that's going. I mean, I remember when they used to say the life expectancy was, mid 60s to early 70s, and that is extending. And unfortunately, as life expectancy goes up and they say, hey, 70 is the new 60, which I love, especially as I get a little bit older. But in the process of that, we have other health concerns. We need joint replacements. We need a little bit more balance along the way, strengthening, and those types of things to be able to have life be about the quality of life as well. And physical therapy plays a huge role in that. So I think when we think about the future of superior physical therapy, like we found in American Falls, there was a need. We watched, actually, as we had a really well-known physical therapist practitioner retire out there, there was more patients traveling to our Pocatello clinics asking us, can you just come to the community? Can you? And so we just responded to the need out there. And that's an easy growth opportunity for a practice like that. That's what we look for. What's the needs of the community, and how can we fulfill those needs? So I think we'll continue to see steady growth as those needs arise.
That's great. And you're literally on the cutting edge, because you're the customer facing side after students come out and they begin to experience the workplace. So are you seeing the need for new types of physical therapy, new processes, new kinds of learning? Is there new technology associated with that? Are you seeing any of that?
We really are. one of the things that we've tried to always do as a practice is try to stay cutting edge. And it takes a commitment to continuing education and an investment within our practice to grow those aspects. In the last few years, we've found that there are some technologies out there that are quite remarkable and are within the reach of the physical therapist to use in everyday practice. One of them that really does make sense is that of musculoskeletal ultrasound. And it's that same technology that we see in the hands of the OBGYN when they're looking at an unborn baby. But in the last several years, there's been breakthroughs in the sports medicine field, and that has kind of come down to the physical therapist, so that we can utilize musculoskeletal ultrasound on an everyday basis to look at rotator cuff tears, to look at meniscal injuries at the knee, and to be able to find really the answer to the question that the patients always ask, which is, what's the source of my pain? And how do I get it better in the most cost-effective way? You know, so many folks come in and they're already thousands of dollars in before they see us in MRI imaging and some of those types of things. And now we find that our physicians that refer so often to us are saying, hey, can you screen this out? Can you take a look at this problem under ultrasound, saving costly medical dollars to the patient, and be able to find answers early on. So we've integrated that musculoskeletal ultrasound into every one of our clinics and into that early screening process, so that we can identify as physical therapists, number one, can we treat this patient? Can we treat them effectively? Are we wasting their medical dollars, or are we really going to make the difference that we feel like we can make without thousands of dollars of costly imaging to be able to get that answer? So it's really that point of care ultrasound. I can't talk about it enough. Obviously, you guys have found that you're asking me a question that I could probably talk about all day, Gary. We do that. And then we've also, outside of that fellowship training for physical therapists, musculoskeletal ultrasound, have also taken a step towards nerve conduction studies and electromyography. And that is really a technology that's been around and available for physical therapists for many, many years. But the residency that's associated with it is very costly and very difficult. And so years ago, when we didn't have a lot of practitioners in the way of medical practitioners to perform this type of testing to find out what is the source of the nerve pain, we found that our patients were having to wait 3 or 4 months, either travel up to Idaho Falls or down to University of Utah, or wait for a local medical doctor that can perform this, and it might be in a considerable amount of time. And so we stepped into this direction, and we got into the residency program, and it has just provided phenomenal answers at that point of contact for the patient when they come in, as far as what's my nerve pain. So both on the joint side of what's my joint pain through musculoskeletal ultrasound, and then what is my nerve pain through the EMG aspect. It's something that we're grateful to have been able to be educated in and become proficient at, and then really be able to communicate at a level of proficiency with our physicians on, hey, can we help this patient? And if we can help this patient, can we do it in a cost-effective way and a more efficient way?
Well, those are awesome. Are those elements, the ultrasound, the musculoskeletal ultrasound, and the nerve conduction studies that you've been doing, Darren, are those things that we're teaching now, or is that something that we can would bring on into their program that you have?
You know, it is something that we find programs across the United States within physical therapy now starting to teach. And we've had the opportunity to kind of give some introductory courses in this. And Darren kind of referred to this in the special topics there at ISU. We're just privileged to be able to be involved with that education process for the physical therapist and the physical therapy assistant here at ISU. Yeah.
Wow. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. I think you guys ought to have a conference right out here in Pocatello and start talking about all these new things you're seeing. I think that's a good partnership opportunity with the university too, but
Yeah.
we can explore that one later.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how you could be an amazing presenter, Bart. I mean, and you seem so passionate about the subject. I bet once you start going down that track, you can go on all day, can't you?
It really is. There's a lot of people, I think, that as a job, they call their job work. This is all fun for me. It is so enjoyable. And you kind of find every once in a while just things that you become passionate about in life. And you've hit it, Paul. I love this because really of being able to solve those problems for the patients in a more cost-effective way, be able to interact with physicians in a more knowledgeable way, and be able to do it in a way that is very timely for the rehab process. I love it.
Yeah, that passion, it's like shines through like a beacon. If I already made a decision, if I need physical therapy, I'm going to your office.
Well, I appreciate that. We're thrilled for every single one of those patients that comes through our door and asking those questions. So we appreciate that, Paul.
So
sorry guys, that was our timer. Sorry, just didn't mean to let that go off that quickly. We're nearing the end of this thing. Paul, did you have another question?
I just had one. How did your relationship with Idaho State University start?
When I came to town, this was back in 2000, and started at Bannock Regional Medical Center. That's when I took my first PT and PTA students. And I remember working through up on the hospital floor and those post-operative knees and hips and having my first student experiences then. I'll tell you, being able to have the privilege of working with ISU students in that capacity, it keeps you sharp. There's tons of questions that those students are going to ask you, and you better be prepared. And so I think as a group starting then, it's been something that's been such a privilege. I think there's so many of our physical therapists here in town and throughout the state of Idaho that really relish the opportunity to have a student side by side with them and be able to be in a teaching capacity.
Really, really good. Hey, as we bring this thing to a close, Michael Plowman, Darren Jernigan, are there any last words that you'd like to give to Bart?
Yes, I just want to say, it's through relationships with the likes of Superior Physical Therapy that the Idaho State University PTA program is able to survive. And without your support for taking students consistently year in and year out, multiple students every year, it assures that we have high quality experiences for them to have, and it allows for the viability of the program. And so, we're just greatly indebted. At this juncture, I wish that, looking back at my own career, I wish I would have instituted this idea sooner, but I needed a guy like Michael Plowman to come in and to help me align some of the relationships and turn them back into these mechanisms that it's a win-win phenomena is the way I look at it. And it's a way for Superior Physical Therapy to give back to us and then facilitate us to be able to give back to you. And so you stepping up and being, kind of the tip of the spear of one of the first industry partners, really in health occupations for that matter, really makes me happy. And it just exemplifies the relationship we've had for such a long time. And I'm anxious to have other people say, I'm going to say, hey, man, look what Bart did. We need you to get in the game with us because, well, for one, education's expensive, and these kinds of scholarships can really defray the cost for a student and create some goodwill for a student to come and work for you too. So hey, it's a pleasure, and I just want to say thanks, Bart.
Yeah, thank you, Bart, because I think it's an example that others can follow. And it really is truly, as both you and Darren have said, to defray some of that cost. And it's a win-win-win, because it helps the students, it helps you as an industry partner, and it helps the university. And I think it's a wonderful example. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, we kind of put that challenge out to anybody that's listening, whether you're a physical therapy, work for a physical therapy group, or even just our community in that kind of match that you guys talked about. Let's help these students out. I think there is a tremendous opportunity. And when students can get through that education process and not have that severe burden of debt, so much more good can happen. And they, in turn, they want to give back as well. So let's just keep perpetuating this, because I think it can go on for generations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Bart, if someone wants to contact Superior Physical Therapy, how would they do that?
Easiest way, you can always walk into one of our locations there in town. We've got 3 locations, one on ISU's campus and one up on Vista Drive, kind of by Maynard Mansfield's medical office, not too far from Portneuf, and then by the Gold's Gym location out there. But you can always give us a call anytime, 208-233-2248. And if it's just a question about physical therapy, if it's right for you, if there's we're always willing to even just do a consult for somebody that, hey, is my shoulder, my back issue, is it something that can be helped by physical therapy, or do I need to see a different type of medical practitioner? We're always willing to sit down and see if we can help anybody figure that out, if we can help out and make a difference in their life. So absolutely.
Great. And Darren, if someone wants to reach out to you or the College of Technology, how would they do that?
Probably give you a call.
Yeah, I mean, certainly an email or a call. My phone number is 208-282-4815. But just getting onto the Idaho State University website and just searching College of Technology, you'll find my contact information.
Excellent.
Hey,
excellent.
Paul, I think also, people could reach out to us at cetrain.isu.edu or give us a
and we
call.
could connect you.
282, what's our number?
208-282-3372.
That's it. Thanks, man. And we could also defer all that. If anybody wants to call us or get a hold of us that way, we can reach out and get them in touch with Bart. By the way, again, reminder, Bart is our CEO and the president of Superior Physical Therapy. It's been a real pleasure listening to you, Bart, and thank you for coming on board. I've really truly learned something, and I think we have some possibilities for future partnerships out there. Michael Plowman, thank you for telling us about Bengal Giving Day. The challenge is out there for everybody else. Jump in, help out our students, who then turn around and become community members, helping out the community. Great show, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bart.